Hello friends, welcome to the day 13 video. So today we are going to see about what is a machine learning basics. See, what are all the basic things you need to just know before jumping to a machine learning things. So in this model we are going to see about what is the difference between classical programming and a machine learning programming or a coding part, how to design machine learning models, what is the difference, and what is actually a machine learning. And we are just looking for what are the practical reasons for going for a machine learning. So later we have been just seeing the types of machine learning, the major types. So it is having two types. So this will be the outline of this respective talk. So let us see one by one. We are going to just have a case studies like day-to-day applications, how they are working, what exactly the algorithm is going to be used, and how exactly the ML is going to be, that is machine learning is going to just make a respective difference between a coding by using C languages or any sorts of other languages through respective cars or through respective algorithms or a framework for a machine learning part. Okay, first let me take a pen here. So let me tell the difference between machine learning, that is ML, so it is a short form, so machine learning part, and classical programming. So classical programming means what we are going to make use of equations like Boolean equations or any sorts of logical expressions, or by making use of a logic. So that is going to be called it as a classical based programming. So let me take a scenario here. See, consider this as a problem. So this is going to have some solution at this optimum point. See, considering this as a some kind of a problem, so at some point there is a solution for this problem. So now let me just tell how classical based programming is going to just work with based on the logic. So based on the equations and the logic, it will find some optimum solution by hook or a crook by using a something like a logical expression, if and else conditions. It can be Boolean expressions by using any kinds of logics, by using any kinds of switch statements, for loop, while loop. It is going to give one optimum solution. So after the optimum solution is being given, it is going to push the same answer. So by using any sorts of a logic, it will give one answer. So that is going to be called it as a classical based programming. So next, coming to a machine learning programming. So in the same manner, the same problem and the same optimum solution will be provided. So the machine learning will start analyzing the statistics instead of a logic. So it will come to an optimum solution. Once the optimum solution have been reached, so it will start giving the n number of solution for the respective problem. So here this have been divided into two part. So this part is going to be called it as a training part. So this is called as a training part, and this is called as a testing part. So in machine learning we are having two subdivisions. So training means the machine will start analyzing the situation on its own without having any help of a human being. So that process is going to be called it as a training. So in training, the usually we are going to provide a features. So if it is a new word for you, it is just a numbers. For a specific image, there will be a specific number. See, like if I am taking a digital image of myself, so it is going to be converted into a sum of a numbers. So those numbers are pixel intensities. So that is what the numbers are going to just do with. So here it is called as an training process. So once the training process have been completed at some point, so it is being trained and it is going to accept newer solutions. Like if you are giving a new data, it is going to provide us a new solution. So that is going to call it as an testing scenario. So machine learning is like we are going to provide some of examples and we are going to train it. So once trained data has been available or trained software or model is available, that model is capable of predicting the new data. So that is going to be called it as a machine learning. So here you will be getting n number of solutions. So whereas in a classical programming there will be one solution. So the most possible solutions we are going to get once the system is trained. So this is a difference between ML and classical programming. So what is ML then? So as I telling about, it is a piece of a software. We are going to call it as a model. So this is a piece of a software or model which is going to be trained by providing examples. So the examples here actually means that we are providing an input, we are providing an output also. So it is going to generate a rules for you. So this is a basic thing you need to just understand here. So how it is going to generate a rules is like it is going to make a difference between, or what is the relationship between input and output. So here this will be like training process. So once a system is trained, so once the system is going to be trained, so there will be a no output. So here for training you are going to split a data set. See, consider the data set as 1000 in number. Let me take an example here. So 500 for cat images and 500 for dog images. So here we are having three scenarios: training, testing and validation. So for training, 60% of data is going to be used of your data set. That is, out of 1000, 60% means you will be having 600 images of both dogs and cats. For testing, you will be having 20%. So in this 20%, it actually means that 200 images of your data set which have been not used in training. So here if you are using 600 images for a training, those 600 images will be not used for testing purpose. So next comes a validation. So it is going to provide over another 20%, that is another 200 images. So if you are taking 1000 data set, in the 1000 data set 600 have been reserved for training purpose. So this 600 is never used for testing purpose, and out of the 600 another 200 will be never used. So for training purpose you will be reserving some 600 images, for testing 200, validation 200. So this is a thing which is going to happen. So let me just give it an example. See, consider you are being just going for another city. Consider you are living in Davangere. So in Davangere you have been learnt how to search the new cities, new crosses, how to speak with the people, or how to grasp the new areas, how to adjust for a new environment. So this is a scenario for Davangere. So you have been trained for how to live in one city of our Davangere. So if you are moving to a Bangalore, so this is called validation. So before validation, let me just give you an example for testing. So you have been available in Vidyanagar of Davangere. So that is your area of location. From Vidyanagar, you need to move for another new location. So in Vidyanagar, you have been just seen the in and out of it. See, like where the vegetables are available, where the books are available, where is a browsing center, where is some kinds of a park for recreation activities. So that is like it is a training mode. So you have been learned how to search in one of a area and you have been trained. So the trained person, you have been left to another area of a same city. So it can be a MCCB block. In an MCCB block, what the shops you have been find it out, it will be different. You need to go for finding a new shops based on the experience of finding the shops what you have been done in Vidyanagar. You need to find the same or similar kinds of shops for ration, or it can be for taking some of the snacks, or it can be some having a recreational activities, playing games, browsing centers, or having tea. See, these shops should be funded out in a newer area. Why? Because you cannot go back to the older areas. It can be of having a traveling allowances and all. So you need to adjust for a new environment. So based on the previous experience what you have been taken for searching the shops in Vidyanagar, you have been locating the similar kinds of shops in a new area of a same city. So this is called testing. So in training you will be having some kinds of a strong experience. By using that experience in the same city, you can take a help of friends, you can take a help of your parents or something like this. So now you have been tested, so you will be providing some output. So in the same manner, if you are living in other cities, so you have been relocating to other cities based on the experience of training and testing. So in training you will be having more help with friends, or it can be relatives or something like this. More help will be there. In testing there will be lesser help. You can take only the help of friends or something like this. So this is a validation, a whole new city, you are not knowing anyone, but based on the experience what you have been gained, so that have been used for looking after the same shops but with a newer location. So this is called as a machine learning. So like, coming back to this scenario, let me tell what does accuracy actually means. So after the system have been trained, so that is trained model, so you are going to provide a newer data. So let me just tell that it has been trained to give a decision between cat and dog. So now you are being given an image of a cat, so as a new data, and I am considering the input as a x and I am considering the output as y dash, and the real output is y. So the human beings will be knowing the real output. The real output is cat, and this y is a predicted data from a machine. So now what is actually the loss actually means that loss or accuracy. So the accuracy will be y actual output minus predicted output. So this is like, what is the actual data or actual output minus predicted output. Predicted output means predicted from a machine. If the machine also say it as a cat, then the losses for this output will be 0. So next you are giving a dog image, considering that. For that also, if the machine is telling the cat for one kind of a species, or if you are taking with a different angles from a top view. So from a top view, the dog and cat may look similar at some angle. Like if you are taking with a 90-degree inclination, 30-degree, 45-degree, at some point for machine it may just looks like a cat, and the dog input image may predicted as cats. So during this the loss is definitely 100%. So like this we are going to take a scenarios of 10 to 15 scenarios. In that we are going to find a mean square error. So mean square error means, so we are going to take a mean and we are going to have a square and square root of it. So that is mean square error. So here like this we'll be taking some of errors 0, 90, or it can be 9%. So like this. So at one point of angle the machine may fail for 100%. At some point it may give 0% errors. At some point it may give 100% errors. So whenever a machine gives 100% errors, we cannot say that it is an inefficient. We need to take a mean of a decision. So we need to give some 100 questions to it. Out of 100, how many correct answers it has been made? So that is called as a mean square error. So if it is making 60 correct decisions out of 100, then it is 60% accuracy. So after giving a wrong output, we can feedback it, like changing the features, changing the training time, changing a number of methods in machine learning from supervised to unsupervised or unsupervised to supervised. So you are being machine will be providing some output. So that output will be compared with the actual output, then it is a loss. So this loss will be computed for several species or several observations. Say like in your first year you have been made some of a titration example. So for a first iteration you have been done some mixing some solution, the color doesn't change. So again you have been go on adding, and for one point of time it will provide a change of a color. So that point is going to call it as a titrated value. So in the same manner, losses will be calculated for every observation, and this observation will be of 20% of a data set, 10% of a data set, like this. For this percentage of a data set, how many correct answer the machine have been given is your accuracy. So if accuracy is low, we need to just think of some of the concepts like overfitting, underfitting. Let me just say that what are all the concepts in the next duration. For this session, what you need to understand that machine learning means just a model, piece of a model. We are piece of a software. So technically it is called as a model. So for this model, you are going to find a relationship. So the machine will find a relationship between input and output. So let me take an example of a machine learning in our day-to-day application. So I am taking two scenarios, and how exactly the machine learning engineers will tackle it, I will just tell you. See, consider you are having a cashew nut. So in a market you will be getting a cashew nut for 350 rupees also, 250 and 175 or 200. So you will be getting a different species of a cashew nuts, but all the cost what you are providing for per weight, it is going to give the same cashew nut or a same species of a cashew nut, but there will be slight difference. So how to find those slight differences? By seeing by our naked eyes, we can find some of our scenarios, as we have been having some of our training which have been got from our parents, well-wishers, to guess what is the quality of our cashew nuts. So this is like by human observation we can make a difference between 350 rupees cashew nut, 250 cashew nut and 200. You can just think of what can be the main differences over there. First one is shape, whether it is big, small or something like this. Next can be some kinds of a color, or it can be the length, it can be the width. So like this you will be having some of a observation which have been recorded in your respective eyes or brain. Based on that you can guess whether what you are giving is worth or not. So that is a application where you need to code for it. So now we have been just trained from many years. This trained scenario should be going inside the machine is a hectic task. Machine understands only numbers. So whatever we are going to convey to the machine should be in numbers itself. So here comes the variations. You can just see 220, 320, 180 cashew nuts. You can just observe the size and shape of a cashew nuts here. All will look white in color, but there will be a difference in length, diameter, radius. Everything will be different. So the gradings is going to happen here. So the gradings is like, one can be a fully version of a cashew nut, that is broken one. It can be of different weight. Another can be like a nuts version. So it is going to have a different weights. So after breaking, while breaking they will be having some sorts of minor errors. So this is another grading. So you can just see the 180 rupees cashew nuts. So here the major difference you can just see is the length, width, the shape, color, some of the changes you can just observe. So now we human have been just seeing what are the difference. Now to make machine to understand, give length, width, color, shape of all these varieties in many numbers. It can be like 1000 or 10,000. For each case I am speaking for low grade, medium grade and high grade. So this can be a high grade cashew nuts, it can be medium grade, and this can be a low grade. So this can be a 320 rupees high grade version, this can be 220, and this can be a 180 versions. So by giving a different examples like this of 10,000 values, each will be of having divisions, each will be of having 1000 values or 2000 values, 2000 images of grades of respective things. So here we are having three conditions. 10,000 divided by 3, around 3500 of each grades you need to just collect. So the job of a person is to collect the data and give it to the model. You are going to train by using some of the features. So the features will be not decided by the human being, it will be taken from the machine. Or if you need to decide a features, so you can decide these many features. So these many features will be provided to the machines, and it is going to just generate a prediction value, and again prediction will be just compared with the actual output. You can see the difference. So this is one kind of a scenario. So after training, if you are giving any kinds of a newer cashew like this, it is going to make a gradings between whether it is high, medium or low. So this is like after training issue. For training you have collected 3500 images of each grade and you have been provided to the machine. So next let me tell that if any of you if you have been joined for a company saying that one of a big joint in Mangalore of like they have been just planning to have the cost of a fish based on the image. So if this was a scenario, so you need to meet some of people who are going to buy the fishes. So how they are going to make a gradings of fishes? What is a gradings like? For one grading can be like, it can be based on the species, and next can be habitat, where it is living. It can be in an ocean, or it can be in a sea, or it can be in a channels, or where exactly the habitat of a respective animal. Next can be the body length. So this is a body length. Next can be the fork length from. So body length means from mouth to tail, that is leaving the wastage. So that is a body length. So fork length is like from mouth to length of a tail. So actual length of a respective fish. So this can be the another feature. First one is species, habitat, body length, fork length, and total length of a respective fish. So based on this, you will be providing some of a cost. It can be 200, it can be 300. Again, you need to take some 10 to 1000 to 1200 images of different species and different sizes, and you are going to tell for this respective size and for this respective feature the cost is this one. So like this, the example of ML, how you are going to tackle exactly. So first you need to meet the respective persons where the human is going to make a classification. So based on his experience, we need to convert that experience into numbers, and this number should be generated or extracted from some 1000 or 2000 images of a different species of fishes. And for these kinds of fishes, what is the cost which have been provided by the respective user or businessman. So like this, you need to have a collaboration with the society, and you need to come up with the results. If you are unable to collect the data, you need to go for any kinds of external factors, external companies to collect and give this data for you. So data is important for machine learning. So collecting data is too much important. After having a numerous data, you can train to the system. So that is called as an two scenarios. So one thing you need to remember, every machine will understand only number. We need to convert our images into a number. Okay, let me just give you a case study of a machine learning. So case study means like what will be the practical reasons for going to a machine learning. Sorry for abbreviations here. ML means machine learning. So the practical reasons for going to the machine learning is like, let me take an example of Word application, Microsoft Word. If you are making any mistakes in an English, so it is going to make a auto correction, or it is going to provide you a suggestion. So one thing is auto correction and other thing is suggestion. So the one of practical reasons like why we are going for this one is like, we need to having this three practical reason. My scenario is like, we need to design a English correction software. So it should make auto corrections, or it should provide some of corrections, or it should provide suggestions for correcting the values. So these are all the reasons. Reduce the time of coding, customize the products to solve the unprogrammable task. Let me just explain all these things, like how to reduce the time of coding. See, like if you are going to find a software for having a correction of English, you need to go for a numerous. See, I am telling about classical programming, how it is time consuming. For classical programming, you need to write the rules. So that is what I have been just said here. So you need to write the rules in a classical programming. So like Boolean expression, logic, anything. But whereas in machine learning, machine will generate the rules by seeing the examples. So first thing is, for writing the rules, you need to go for some kinds of a grammar first. You need to make understanding of a grammar for programming. So the grammar can be usage of a E, I, O, U. Before it, you need to use A alphabet based on the vowels. Coming to the grammar, past tense, future tense, present tense, you need to go for tenses. You need to write for tenses with lines of a quotes. It is time consuming for grammar. So in the same manner, you need to see some of our spelling changes in different countries. In some countries may use color spelling can be COLOUR. In some of our countries they will be using COLOR. So like this, different things will be having. For that, different rules should be written. So the next can be like you need to see the sentence formation. The meaning should not change. So in order to do all these things, you need to write some 1000 or 2000, it can be 10,000 or 20,000 lines for each scenarios, for grammar, for spelling checking, for it can be any kinds of other reasons what I have been just quoted here. So it is going to make some 20,000 lines or something like this. So this is time consuming if you are going for classical programming. So if you are coming for a machine learning, what is the thing is, you need to provide a example of a sentences, the different sentences. So for training a grammar, you can give a different examples, how the actually the past tense, future tense actually there in the form of text. That's all. You need to collect that text and you need to give some of the examples to the machine learning. After training, it will judge the whether the system is having or a sentences is having grammar free or not. So this is how to reduce the time of coding using machine learning. Next one is customizing the products. Once you have been done a program for English language, next you need to customize for Kannada. Means there is no need to again start from scratch. Your job is to find the data set. So while finding a data set, you need to take care of this thing. In Kannada, you are having 3 string of lines. So if you are writing ka, it will touch the below line, middle line and the top line. If you are writing other sentence, other word like ra, so it will touch only the 2 things. But its different coordination will be there. At this segment, what is the shape? At this segment, what is the shape? You need to decide and you need to give to the machine. So like this, customizing the product is too much easier if you have been done one programming. If it is been done for English, you can collect the data set for Kannada in this fashion and you can have a customized version. If you are going for Telugu, you can just collect the data set. But think of a classical programming. You need to start from scratch for every languages. It will differ. So here collecting the data set is a human task and that should be efficient. After collecting the data, you need to see the output is matching or not. So that is what you need to just observe with. Okay, audio is fine. It is having some recordings. Okay, let me take a pen here. Okay, this is like customizing the products. So next one, you can just see to solve the unprogrammable task. Unprogrammable task, I can just give you an example. Recognize the parents by human being, friends, object. So it can be a bird, it can be a friends, it can be a human being. Recognition is left to the human brain based on the memory, based on the object. This bird is cocoa bird or something like this. It can be a some kinds of a species, a parrot species. Based on the human being, what I am telling about friends, you will be having different faces. For different faces, different names will be there. So based on the practice, we will be memorizing their names, we will be seeing their faces, and we are going to memorize the persons. So that is going to be for friends. Next can be a parents. So this is recognition problem, object. So this is like unprogrammable task. These are all the non-unprogrammable. You cannot program for it by using classical based coding languages. So during these scenarios, or it can be like hand signals, it can be a language for the persons who are unable to speak, hand signal languages, or it can be speech recognition. See, like what the today's Alexa, or it can be Siri, or it can be any sorts of other Google application like Google Assistant. It is based on the speech recognition integrated with web. So in order to do all these things, it is not possible in a classical based programming. Why? Because you need to start from scratch for everything. See, like if you are going for speech recognition, if you have been done for an English, if you are going to do for a Kannada, again you need to start from scratch. But whereas in machine learning, you need to just change the data set. So this is like unprogrammable task. You can just make a manage of it. So the another reason, so these were all the respective scientific reasons. So the another reason for going to the machine learning is like, so what software engineers or programmers are going to do is think logically, have some expression. Based on the expression, your program is going to be executed. So what is machine learning is going to do is, it is not going to do with the logic. It is going to work with the statistics. See, let me talk about a heart disease. So let me talk about a heart disease. See, like with some 50 age, he was having some weight of 90, and he was having a cholesterol of something, and he is having some kinds of habits. So these will be like true false condition. If it is true, it is 1. If it is false, it is 0. So based on this scenario, based on the statistics, they are going to, machine learning is going to give a solution, not by logical fashion. Next one is user observation tactics can be implemented on machine learning based on the patterns. See, like the patterns can be like this one. If you are having the charger here, it will be having some pattern, change in color. Or if you are going for a texture like this, so the texture is like some kinds of changes in clothes. So this one can be immersed in a machine learning. So instead of a logic, the machine is going for a statistics. So this is where mathematics is going to be come into picture. And coming to our statistics, machine learning will provide based on the probability. So you need to learn statistics, you need to know knowledge of probability. What is a probability? A degree of a randomness is called your probability. What is a output randomness can be just provided. If you are spinning a coin, the randomness will be 3. Either it can be head, tail, or it can stand still. So this is a degree of randomness. In the same manner, if you are differentiating between a cancerous cell and non-cancerous cell, here randomness is only 2, normal or cancer. In the same fashion, you can divide it, first stage, second stage, third stage, fourth stage. So degree of randomness will be added. So that will be based on the statistical values. So this is a where the complicated part of a machine learning is going to be just seated. So this word will be the some of our reasons for going for a machine learning. So the next one is types of machine learning. First one is supervised machine learning. Second one is unsupervised machine learning. So we'll be knowing about what is supervised and unsupervised in our demo classes. So the supervised means the human is going to help the machine while making some sorts of a decision. So that is called as an supervised learning. So what does unsupervised means? Without the help of a human, you are proceeding. Machine is proceeding. So let me talk about supervised learning. So we are going to learn to create a models in supervised learning by the help of a human beings. So we are going to learn how to create a model that can combine input to produce the prediction even on previously unseen data. Unseen data means the new data which have been not available in a training, testing and validation. So supervised thing is like teaching a model to, by having a combination of an input, based on this it need to predict and for the unseen data. So this is a main thing you need to just understand. Unseen data means that will be a newer version. So what is this unseen data? What is supervised actually means? That, see, consider email filtering. So whatever you are getting the email, that will be filtered into spam. I am talking about Gmail filter. It can be social tab, it can be promotional tab, it can be primary tab, or it can be forums. So the incoming email will be distributed into these many forms. So in order to do this, you need to say some kinds of labels with the features. So in supervised machine learning, you are having both features and labels. Let me take an example for having a differentiation between normal mail and a spam mail. So for a label, you will be providing 0, that with spam. For not a spam, the label is 1. If it is a spam, it will be having some kinds of features. So the features can be like words in the mail. So the first feature is words. So the words in the mail. So I am talking about a spam filter. So the spam or not is the labels. So the features is words in the mail. Next one is from where it has been came, from which email ID, and from any part of a specific IP which have been just made spam earlier. So the next one is subject in the code. So subject what the person have been written in a mail. So these can be the features. The words in the mail, so words should be analyzed. So that is a one feature. Based on that, it is going to provide some kinds of a decisions here. Words from a email address, it has been came from the spam ID from a other person. So from other person or other email ID, it has been done spam or not. See, like in the Truecaller, we are going to block a person and saying that he is a spam. So if you are doing one person, so if you are telling that person is spam, if another thousands of people have been said the same person is a spam, then the Truecaller will identify that number as a spam number and going to tell the user that he is a spam. That person you are calling, receiving a call, is from a spam caller. So in the same fashion, from each email ID or from which IP of a IP means a machine identification number. So and subjects which have been used, so that will be in the features. If he is spam, it will be provided with true. True means 1. So in the subject, like spamming, like you have been warned some of a thing, so again it is a true or false. So like this, based on the 3 features, you will be collecting several data set. It can be 0101 like this. In order to collect labels and features, you need a human being. Supervised means you are having both labels, you are having features. So one thing you need to just keep in the mind, supervised learning is like you need to have both labels and features. Let me quote another example, like having a species. How to differentiate between the species of a leaves. So let me take a pen here. I am talking about a leaf species. Okay, in order to find out a leaf species, there will be some kinds of a width of a leaf, length of a leaf, whether it will provide flowers or not, whether it will provide fruits or not. Based on all this scenario, they will be telling some kinds of a species like this. See, it can be a broad leaf or it can be a shorter leaf. So in order to find broad and shorter leaves, there is no need of flowers and fruits. You can go for only the width and length of it. So this will be the feature number and this will be the labels, whether it is broad leaf or it can be the short leaf. So broader leaf or shorter leaf. So this is you need to just think of. So broader one or shorter one. So the width and length of leaves. So the numbers will be provided in centimeters. So if it is 20 width and if it is 30 in a length, then it is a broader one. If it is a shorter means it will be having almost equal to half than this. So that is a shorter. So like this you need to just have a samples of 1000 different samples of having both the labels broad or shorter. So after preparing a data set, you are going to provide for a model. So this is called supervised learning, having both labels and features. So what is unsupervised machine learning actually means that there is no need of a human being. Human being is not present to make a decisions. So like, see, I am having two scenarios here. Let me just switch the screen. So now I am having two scenarios, like one is pen and another one is just a cap of a mentho plus balm. So now you need to differentiate this pen and a mentho plus balm. So you are not knowing the labels. Here label will be absent. Why? Because there is no human being to make a difference. So during these scenarios, or you can take other objects like having a mobile phones. So all these three objects need to be divided. So how you are going to divide? Based on the neighborhood, you are going to make a clusters. What is this clusters? So in order to differentiate between a pen and this cap, you need some line. So that is going to be called it as a cluster here. So you are going to find a one line. It is going to make a division between pen and a cap. And another object you are having. So again you are going to have another clusters. So this scenario is going to be called it as a clustering method. So let me just show you again in this respective scenario that will be just understandable for you. So here will be pen, cap and mobile. So this is an image. Now this image need to be divided. You can divide in this fashion based on the clusters. So you are going to make cluster 1, cluster 2, cluster 3. Cluster means some kind of a box. For easy understanding, you can make it. So in this position, if you are having any object, that object should be placed in one box, and that name of the box is pen. So in this, you are having a cap. So in this region, any of object is coming, then those regions objects will be pushed to the another box, and the name of that box is cap. In the same manner, mobile. How to identify the objects now? So coming for a mobile here, coming for a mobile. First one is shape, another one is display. What you are going to just see with display unit, or it can be any sorts of a sensors, and what is the company of it. Like this, if the company is going to be provided here, you can just have a text recognition and say which company it is. If this company is coming, you can cluster it for this reason. So how it is going to happen means based on the neighborhood. See, consider you are having at this first point and you are checking whether this object is whether this pixel is responsible for this object or not. I'm having this first pixel and I'm checking whether this pixel is belonging to the mobile or not. Neighboring, anything will be chosen here. Neighboring values will be chosen. After this neighboring value, there is another value for you, that is cap. So once it finishes its boundary, the cap's boundary will be starting to occur. At this point of interfaces, the cap will come with the different characters. It is round and it is having white in color, it is having some text saying Mentho Plus or something like this. So in the same manner, you will be having pen. So based on the neighborhood characteristic, see, this person is belonging to this group, or if the person or a group of people are too much nearer to each other, then we are going to call it as a close friends, best friends, or simply friends, something like this. So here it is a group of close friends. They will be always in a same or nearby near. So nearby near will be grouped into the one class, and for that class we are going to give a cluster, or we are going to segment it from an image, and we are going to tell it as a name called as an, providing a name called as a pen for it. In the same manner, cap based on the neighborhood pixels. So to jump to the machine learning, the packages required or not. What are all the packages for this machine learning? You need to just go with this. First packages you need to know is, first one is NumPy. Why? Because I will be just explaining what is this NumPy, Pandas and Matplotlib in the next sessions. But for this session, what you need to understand is, if you are having an image, if you are having a audio, if you are having a text, if you are having any time of a real-time series of data like temperature of days, first days with the interval of 30 minutes. If you are taking real-time data, everything should be converted into an array. In order to convert into an array, you are having a inbuilt functions or a packages called NumPy. So this is for array operation. So pandas is a one which have been just invented on the top of a NumPy. So wherever the NumPy fails, pandas is going to provide a more number of features for it. So whenever you are going for a Python language, many unknown animals will come into a name for you. So first one is like anaconda. It is a one of a environment where you are going to work. NumPy, pandas. So like this, some of our many unknown animal names will be coming for you. So this is a package name. This is will be also working as an array. Arrays. It is having many of features compared to the NumPy. And next one is matplotlib. Whenever you are having any of the scenarios, it should be outputted. For outputting, we are using matplotlib. You can use OpenCV also for seeing of an output, but OpenCV will give many kinds of an example. We can just see this further. So the first thing is NumPy, pandas, and matplotlib. So the next one is we are going to talk about core machine level languages. What is supervised learning and examples of it. A real-time scenarios like real-time dataset, we are going to work by using Navier Bayes classifier, SVM classifier, support vector machine, K nearest neighborhood, KNN. By using all these classifiers, we are working on a real-time dataset for a real-time application. One is supervised and next one is unsupervised learning. Again, you are working on the real-time dataset, how to make a difference like between species of leaves, whether it is infected or not infected, something like this. So k-means is a one kind of unsupervised method. So these are all the methods you are going to learn on a real-time data set. You are not going to work on any of a dummy data set. You are going to download a data set from a Kaggle and you are going to just work on it. So you are learning Navier Bayes, SVM, KNN and k-means, and based on this learning you will be working on some of a few real-time applications, like After this, we are working on two major predictions or major projects. So after having all this real-time minor and major, you can just give this scenarios to the your colleges and you can just say what you have been working. So here on few real-time applications we are working, and here also unsupervised, and two real-time major projects we are going to just work with. So this was like just an machine learning basics. So today's session is too much important. You need to just think of what is supervised and what is unsupervised. So we are just providing assignments for you, what is supervised machine learning and what is unsupervised machine learning. What you have been got understood by this video, we can just have a gauge of it. So that's it for this video, guys. I guess you got an informative session today. Let you all meet in a next video. We shall meet you all in a next video. Just thank you for this video. Thank you.